self-devotion in action. I spent years busying myself with self-care activities and felt stuck at a level where I didn't feel brighter, happier, lighter, and I just felt and kept on wondering actually, how can I reach this next level? How can I actually make real results in my life and get this momentum going? And it wasn't until I realized that I needed self-devotional standards that I could finally make the shift. And today we're going to talk about self-devotion in action and these 3 powerful shifts that you can take directly today in order for you to also get yourself to the next level. Because I realized that many of you are in the same stage that I was at, where we're just feeling that, okay, we take care of ourselves. We're actually, reducing our stress. We're actually recharging ourselves, but still it feels as if we are just maintaining ourselves. And we feel that we are still stagnant and we don't see the big results that we want. It is not another walk that day that you need in order for you to reduce your anxiety if you're already taking 2 walks. It's not that extra 30 minutes to read that book in the evening in order for you to really find the true answers if you have tried that already, right? So we have to understand that sometimes self-care, or sometimes whatever practices that we have, we need to look through if they are really that helpful any longer, because we are up leveling. So that's why we need new levels of inner treatment as well. And one of those inner treatments are self-devotion. So the first very powerful shift you have to make is to understand that you can be stuck in self-care. Okay, that's the very first shift that you have to understand. It's the awareness of knowing that self-care is not the answer any longer. That is your necessity. That is the basic. That is the foundation. That is something that you just have in your regular day to day. But you are now stepping into a new level of yourself. And the next powerful shift that you have to change into instead is this self-devotional practice. This is a way of how you invest in yourself. You invest in a deeper level in your relationship with you, and you honoring your processes. You honor your inner and outer processes, and you let them take space. You give them space, and when they show up, you are there for them. So when we are self-devotional, we are honoring all of the processes that we have in our lives, and we are also making sure that we invest in new things. So when you're self-devotional, you're actually looking through to your life that, am I feeling alive? Am I feeling expansive? Am I feeling deeply satisfied? Am I doing things with pleasure, out of pure pleasure, right? And you kind of have that as a regular check-in with yourself, that you live a life of enjoyment. Do I want to invest in new knowledge? Do I want to invest in a new hobby? Do I want to invest in a creative pursuit? And this is also to not reason yourself or give a reason why you do want to invest in yourself. So when we are having these tendencies of self-caring ourselves and the tendencies of just maintaining, we usually give ourselves the reason why we are allowed to, or have the permission, or why we do deserve to have this evening treat, or why we do deserve to have a couple of hours of break, right? We give ourselves these reasons. But when we are self-devotional, we're just like, I don't need a reason for resting. I don't need a reason for play. I don't need a reason for deepening the relationship with me. That's just how I live my life, and that's my standard. I don't need a reason for that. And I do things out of pleasure. If I feel I want to invest in something new for myself, I give myself space for that. And I don't give a reason for it. I just do that. I trust my inner process, and I trust my inner nudge. So the actual action you are going to take is very simple, but we sometimes make it a little bit diffuse. So we are not really know how to do it, so to say. But you do it as you do with everything else. So you decide. You write down a piece of paper. What is it that I want to invest in myself at this point? And then you prioritize those tasks. You prioritize whatever came to your mind. And then the next step is that you start to look through the prioritizations and ask, what is the very next action that I'm going to take in order for me to get here? So if you want to invest in a new knowledge, what kind of knowledge? Do you need more clarity in it? Do you need to know where you can get that knowledge from? Do you need to, if you need some certain practices for it, because it can be, inner knowledge, inner wisdom that you want to gain, or it can be some wisdom from somewhere else, right? So next thing is to add it in your calendar, exactly as you do it with you adding people's birthdays into your calendar, or you are having a prioritization list for the day at work. That is exactly the same that you need to do with your self devotional practice. When I really became proactive and not reactive in my life, it was when I just had kind of this backlog of journal prompts, backlog of creative pursuits, backlog of all the things that I wanted to do, the relationship that I wanted to evolve with myself, how I wanted to learn how to channel even deeper, all of that. I have Excel sheets and I have things booked in my calendar. There is like, this is a pleasure hour, this is a play hour. When I started to really do that and really see that as anything else that I put into my calendar, was actually when I really made a change with it, but also really clarifying what those steps are. I want you to take notice on this. When you are self devotional, you tell the whole world that you are to be nourished and you are to be treated. And through that, you also attract deep conversations, you attract really great relationships, you attract so much better opportunities, workspaces that are so much more balanced and aligned to you. There is like a non-stop of a great and good life that you receive when you're actually being self-devotional. And if you want to get deeper with this, if you want to really invest in yourself and get my help with it, you can book a first one-on-one session with me. I will leave the links in the description with a dream life session with me. So also the third shift that we have to look into when it comes to being self-devotional is the shift to the dream self. Okay, so many times we can feel that when we get these kind of nudges, like, okay, Linnea, I understand, I'm going to take action and I have a couple of ideas what I'm going to do and so forth, but then we're starting to just like question the nudges that we get. It's like these random nudges of, okay, you're going to go to this cafe, or you want to right now be at a beach in Spain or at a beach in Jamaica, right? And sometimes it's like, well, I can't do that right now. I actually have obligations, or I actually have other things that I also want to do, or I can't just like go directly today, tomorrow. There are other things that is happening in my life, so to say. And we have to also honoring that process as well, because we are not only spiritual beings, we are also human beings, and we live our lives and we have different obligations in our lives. And even though we don't necessarily have to have those, and even though we can, if we really want to, just book a ticket directly and go to Jamaica, there are actually other things how we kind of built our lives, and sometimes maybe that is not the best thing to do. So when we get these nudges, we have to also tune a little bit deeper into those nudges. What are they telling us exactly, so that we can start to take action on those nudges? Because it can really be that you want to be at that beach in Jamaica, but it can also be that it is this feeling of a very chill, relaxed life, or that it's this experience of just like being somewhere where you feel like life is warm to you, or where you feel that there is a certain type of lifestyle that you are living out. Maybe this way of you going to this matcha place or this cafe, and you see that and you're just like, why will this make me more self-devotional? Maybe that sparks something new within you, that you start to actually give yourself space to journal at that cafe, or it is a way how you are actually right now craving new environments, and you want a little bit more dynamics in the way that you work, and you want different type of environments because you need to spark your creativity. We don't always need to know everything, and we don't always need to know exactly why we get these nudges, but it's important for us to act directly on those nudges. And that's why we need to break them down in that way. Okay, if we get that, okay, go to Jamaica tomorrow, then we're just like, okay, do I want to really go to Jamaica tomorrow? Can I do that? If no, what can I do? What can I do? What is it that I can start with? And you can always start with, what's the emotional representation? What does this associate? What is it that I actually want out of this experience? And then I can start to take the actions towards it. You will align your energies towards it. So if that is a true match and if that's what you're supposed to do, you will get to that Jamaican place as well. But you will also have made sure that you feel good and enjoying the process and that you feel good in your life in general. So it's a win-win there. So these are the three powerful shifts. And if you feel that, yes, this about self devotion really speaks to my soul, then you should also check out my latest video, which I talked much deeper about the conversation around self care versus how you live a self devotional life.